The 2025 MotoGP season continues to deliver high drama, and at the heart of it lies the fascinating rivalry between Ducati Lenovo duo Francesco Bagnaia and Marc Márquez. The Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring provided yet another chapter in this compelling storyline, and one man who knows both the team and the demands of the sport better than most, two-time MotoGP world champion Casey Stoner, has offered his verdict. Stoner, who famously delivered Ducati their first world championship crown in 2007, was trackside in Spielberg to witness the intensity of the battle between Bagnaia and Marquez. Not only did he take in the action from the modern generation of riders, but he also donned his leathers once again to participate in the Legends race, lining up alongside other icons of the sport. From the opening day of free practice, it was clear that Marquez had no intention of easing off. The Spaniard, who had never previously raced a Ducati at the Red Bull Ring, set an immediate benchmark by topping FP1 and the practice session. His blistering speed suggested that Bagnaia's dominance at his favored circuit was under direct threat. For 3 consecutive years, Spielberg had been Bagnaia's fortress, a place where he was virtually untouchable. Yet in 2025, that stronghold has been breached, and the Italian has already suffered bitter defeats at tracks where he once reigned supreme: Jerez, Assen, and Mugello. Marquez's relentless momentum this season has been astonishing. Now in his second year with Ducati machinery, the 8-time world champion has already collected a staggering 19 wins across 24 races, combining both sprint and full-distance Grands Prix. He began the campaign by sweeping qualifying, sprint, and the main race in back-to-back rounds, immediately establishing himself as the rider to beat. For Stoner, who understands better than anyone the challenge of extracting maximum performance from the notoriously demanding Desmosedici, Marquez's adaptation has been nothing short of remarkable. "I honestly didn't expect him to be this fast, especially at the very start of the season," Stoner admitted. "To see him achieving this level of dominance, it's been surprising even for me. Last year, he was still adjusting to the Ducati Gresini and recovering from his injuries, but now his arm is almost fully healed, and what he's doing is beyond what most riders can even attempt." This assessment adds weight to the argument that Bagnaia, despite his struggles, deserves sympathy rather than criticism. Stoner believes the Italian is not underperforming, but rather facing an almost impossible challenge in the form of a rejuvenated Marquez. "It's very difficult when a rider joins your team and immediately finds something within the bike that allows him to do things you can't," Stoner explained. "Marc is going to be a problem for any rider, not just Pecco. It's not fair to attack Bagnaia too harshly because everyone would struggle with a teammate like Marquez." Indeed, the statistics and on-track dynamics underline that Bagnaia's main issue is not inconsistency or lack of pace, but rather the sheer brilliance of Marquez. Stoner, always a straight talker, didn't mince his words. Marc has always been an impressive rider, but this season might just be his greatest. Yet Stoner also highlighted a silver lining for Bagnaia. Instead of viewing Marquez as an insurmountable obstacle, the reigning champion from Chivasso could use the situation as a learning opportunity. For Pecco, having Marc in the same garage can actually be a huge advantage, Stoner advised. He can observe, learn, and gather information throughout 2025 that could make him stronger for the following year. This kind of internal rivalry can push a rider to new levels. The bigger picture is fascinating. Ducati, once criticized for struggling to balance internal rivalries, now finds itself with arguably the strongest rider lineup in MotoGP history. Bagnaia, a 2-time world champion in his own right, is fighting not just for victories but for his legacy, while Marquez seems intent on carving a new dynasty aboard the Desmosedici. If Austria is any indication, this duel is far from over. Marquez may be the genius rewriting the rulebook, but Bagnaia's resilience and capacity to adapt could yet shape the future of Ducati's dominance. For now, though, as Stoner himself concluded, the story of 2025 is less about Bagnaia's failings and more about Márquez's brilliance. Looking ahead, the real question is how long Bagnaia can maintain his composure in the face of Márquez's unrelenting form. Every lap, every corner, and every duel now carries more weight than ever before, not just for the points table but for pride within the Ducati garage. The Italian knows he cannot afford to let frustration dictate his riding, and Stoner's words may serve as a reminder that losing to a generational talent does not diminish his own abilities. For MotoGP fans, the duel between Bagnaia and Marquez has injected fresh electricity into the championship. It is the kind of rivalry that defines eras, reminiscent of Rossi versus Stoner or Lorenzo versus Marquez. Austria 2025 may be remembered not as the race Bagnaia lost, but as the weekend when Marquez cemented himself as Ducati's new benchmark. Thank you for following our in-depth coverage. Don't miss the next chapter of this breathtaking season. Subscribe and stay tuned as MotoGP 2025 continues to rewrite history.